section championship episode of Premier Preps. We've got league rivals battling on the boys' side and a D1 rematch for the girls at Golden One Center. Plus, we've got section championship soccer highlights as well. And I'll also have the inspiring comeback story of Christian Brothers senior Kaya Foster. You are watching Premier Preps. Welcome to Premier Preps. I'm your host, Nick Pecoraro. Thank you so much for tuning in. Last week's episode 1 did great, so we thought we'd do it all over again. Appreciate you guys joining us and subscribing and following along on social media. I'm going to make sure that you guys are up to date on all the Sac-Joaquin Section championships for both basketball and soccer this week. So thanks for tuning in. We're going to start here on the hardwood and at Golden One Center, the home of the Sacramento Kings, where section finalists are fortunate enough to be able to play in this championship game. And in this particular matchup right here, two league rivals who are very familiar with each other. Modesto Christian looking for a Division I three-peat for the first time in school history. The Crusaders will have to get past Tri-City Athletic League rival Lincoln on the big stage of Golden One Center Wednesday. Lincoln comes out swinging in the first as Anthony Moore gets a tough bucket, and then Moore kicks it out to Elijah Holmes for three. But the Crusaders answer as Marcus Washington cleans up an offensive miss. But Lincoln would take a 1-point lead after one as Donez Lindsay puts a little English on this finish. In the second, Gavin Sykes gets cooking for the Crusaders. He had a hot first half for MC. But once again, Donez Lindsay with another circus shot around the rim to answer for the Trojans. Sykes this time down below to Marcus Washington. He would have a big night for the Crusaders. And so would this kid. Miles Jones drives to the hoop and gets the harm. The sophomore had 17 on Wednesday night as MC takes a 3-point lead into the break. Third quarter, Moore dumps it off to Quentin Thompson for the and one. This three the hard way knotted the score at 32. But the senior Marcus Washington took over in the second half. A tough finish here. And Moore pounding down below. Washington averages about 10 and 5 a game. He went for 21 and 8 on Wednesday, but the Trojans are trying to play spoiler. Donez Lindsay was the king of tough finishes at the rim on Wednesday. He had 18 to lead the Trojans, and then Moore, one of his 10 rebounds, leads to 2 of his 13 points, and Lincoln trails by just 4 as we hit the fourth. Miles Jones cashes this check to extend the MC lead, and then Washington just doing some grown man stuff underneath. And Sykes starts to take over in the fourth as well. His coach said he's the best player in the entire section. He finished with 16. And then Jeremiah Bernard dishes to Washington, one of 6 assists for the Cal Poly football commit. MC starting to pull away, but Donez Lindsay brings it back to just 5 with another tough bucket. But the night belonged to the Crusaders, who for the first time in school history go back to back to back at the D1 level. Jeremiah Bernard becomes the first MC player to help his team achieve that feat.
Out of all the 3 battles this year with them, I feel like this one was the most tough, but I feel like we were built for this. All the practices, the tough games, all this, it built us for this moment. So to be able to pull through, it feels real good.
Well, what an accomplishment for Modesto Christian, a program already steeped in championship pedigree. Let's take a look at the rest of the championship boys brackets, starting with Wednesday's results at Golden One Center. You just saw what Modesto Christian did in the finals, a D1 three-peat for the first time in school history, the 22nd overall blue banner for the Crusaders, who will be challenging for an open division title amongst the cream of the crop at the state level. In their fourth straight section championship game, the Vanden Vikings became just the fourth program in section history to claim at least 10 championships. This will be a team to watch for in the NorCal playoffs. The Sac High Dragons claimed their second straight championship against league rival Christian Brothers behind monster performances from Shabal Barksdale and Kendall Hearn. It's Sacramento's 9th overall blue banner. Friday at Davis, the top-seeded Venture Academy Mustangs of Stockton claimed the program's first ever section crown after beating an up-and-coming Natomas squad in the D4 finals. In the D5 finals, the Ripon Christian Knights add to their championship legacy. RC goes back-to-back and trails only Modesto Christian with 13 section banners in program history. And finally, in D6, a program on the rise, Stone Ridge Christian of Merced takes down defending D6 champion VCA to claim the first blue banner in school history. All section finalists and semifinalists are eligible to compete in the NorCal brackets beginning on Tuesday. Well, it's not often that defending section champions face off against each other in the finals, but Colfax girls soccer, after winning 2 championships at the D5 level, got bumped up to the D4 level, where defending champion Placer fought its way back to the title game as a 7 seed to defend its championship. That game happening Saturday at Cosumnes River College. Tuesday night rain pushed the D4 title game to Saturday morning. Placer looking to repeat as D4 champs, Colfax going for a Section 3-peat. Placer was looking good early on in this game. Kaya Diedrich's on the hunt. She's a tough player to stop, but Grace Town is up to the task, and she helps keep Colfax off the board, for now that is. Placer on the other end, Ella Turner with the cross to Rachel Edwards, who puts the Hillman on top 1-0. This is the first goal scored on Colfax in the section playoffs since the championship game in 2022, a span of 6 games, and Placer has Colfax playing from behind. But this is where Kaya Diedrich shines. She fires off a freaking laser beam. Kaya scored 17 points for Colfax in the section basketball championship on Friday night, and she gives Colfax the equalizer Saturday morning. Just a few minutes later, Diedrichs, this time with the good feed, and Maya Smiley with the good deed. Maya helped Colfax win that basketball title on Friday as well, and the Falcons now have a 2-1 lead. Placer with a great opportunity. Ella Turner fires, but Avery Miles gets a piece of it. It goes off the post. Sari Ritalik tries to follow, but it's just a bit too strong. And it remains a 1-goal lead for Colfax, but the Falcons add on at the end of the first half. Diedrichs again working her magic. The left-footed cross back to Smiley for her second goal of the game, her second multi-goal game of the playoffs. She's just a freshman, and Colfax leads 3-1 at the break. How about one more for the Falcons? Madison Gawley with a beautiful lead for Emma Menth. She knows exactly what to do with it. And after winning 2 straight at the D5 level, Colfax moves up to D4 and completes the section championship 3-peat. Number 4 overall for the Falcons, who don't appear to be slowing down anytime soon.
Last year we weren't satisfied with the way that it ended, so this year to be playing not only up a division but a lot harder competition, I think it's a great feeling to know that we could still compete with almost any level. The basketball team's here at this game. The soccer team was at the basketball game. It's just such a good support group. The whole community always comes together, and they really just help push you to that next level.
Well, congratulations to the Colfax Falcons for completing the Section 3-peat, especially after leveling up to the Division 4 level. Now, we'll have the boys' Division 4 final later on in the show, but for now, let's take a look at the rest of the girls' brackets. Also at Cosumnes River College, after winning the Division 2 crown last year, Del Oro leveled up and took the D1 title, defeating Davis for the school's 5th section banner. In Division II, top-seeded St. Francis adds to its soccer dominance. The Trubies defeated Granite Bay Saturday to win their section record-extending 15th championship. The D3 crown goes to the Rio Americano Raiders, who as a 4 seed claimed their 7th blue banner last Thursday over Oakdale. We just saw the D4 championship game. Colfax completes the section three-peat. It's the 4th overall banner for the Falcons, who look for a NorCal championship starting this week. And we gave you these results last week, but it's worth repeating that the Hillmar Yellow Jackets added to their trophy case last weekend with the school's 4th girls soccer title from the D5 bracket, and Ripon Christian brought home its 3rd overall title from D6, defeating the defending champion Stone Ridge Christian. NorCal Championship opening rounds begin Tuesday with semifinals on Thursday and championship games this Saturday at host sites. Good luck, ladies. Well, back to the hardwood we go. So before last year's section finals loss, St. Mary's last loss in a section final was in 2007. After that, the Rams rattled off an astonishing 13 straight section championships. The top-seeded Bulldogs this year looking to prevent that spark from reigniting Wednesday at Golden One Center. A rematch of last year's Division I final. Folsom took it to St. Mary's last year, but the Rams want to run it back. Here we go. First quarter, Jada Tupou gets things going for the Bulldogs. But St. Mary's has a somewhat decent player in Jordan Lee. Just kidding, she's amazing. She's going to Texas next year. And here she is spreading the wealth this time to freshman Corey Rogers. And St. Mary's leads 13-8 after 1. Now Jordan Lee will also be playing in the prestigious McDonald's All-American game later this year. But there were other Mickey D's All-American nominees in this game. Cameron Mafua of Folsom knocks down this mid-range J, and Cassidy Bartolotto knocks down a 3. All we're missing now is Grimace and the Hamburglar to round out a starting 5. Folsom point guard Ella Uriarte is not too shabby either. She knocks down this triple, but Folsom still trails by 5 at the break. Third quarter, St. Mary's extends its lead as Corey Rogers says, "I'll take that. She might be a McDonald's All-American one day." The Rams go up by 12 after 3, but the defending champion Bulldogs start to chip away in the 4th. Tupou finds Sophia Minderman down low, and then Minderman drives baseline and kicks it to Uriarte for 3, and it's back to single digits. Uriarte again stops and pops. She absolutely caught fire in the 4th, but every time Folsom got close, the freshman Corey Rogers had an answer. Coco was going cuckoo in the 4th, 21 points overall to lead the Rams. But Folsom still not going away. Minderman cashes in from deep. And then Uriarte again. 15 of her 21 points came from downtown. She brings the Bulldogs to within 4, but big-time players are able to close out big-time games, and Jordan Lee is a big-time player. She knocks down some late free throws and seals a Sac-Joaquin Section record 22nd blue banner for St. Mary's, the first of her illustrious career.
We really put in the work. I mean, it didn't come easy. We had a lot of ups and downs, played some great teams along the way that all prepared us and kind of added an element to that we did today, and everybody got in the gym and was able to hit shots when it counted.
Well, it's clear that St. Mary's has a special program down in Stockton and will be a force to be reckoned with for years to come. Here's a look at the rest of the girls' champions from this past week. So now that St. Mary's has secured section title number 22, the Rams will go for state championship number 9. They have the second most all-time. They'll look for their first open division title since 2015. In D2, the Whitney Wildcats go back-to-back and hold off a Vanden team looking for its 3rd straight title. Look out for the Wildcats in NorCal's. Vista Del Lago took the day off from school on Wednesday and came home with the school's first ever section title. Junior Ella Scanars poured in 24 points and grabbed 9 rebounds to lead the Eagles past Manteca in the D3 final. Friday at UC Davis, you just saw Kaya Diedrichs help Colfax win a soccer championship Well, the night before, she helped the Falcons take home a 13th section banner on the hardwood, defeating Escalon in D4. The last two winners of the D5 championship, Bear River took down defending champion VCA to claim the school's 12th section title. Only 3 other schools have reached that number in section history. And in D6, second-seeded Sac Adventist takes down the defending champ and league rival Faith Christian to win its first section title in program history. Congratulations to the Capitals, and good luck to all teams competing in NorCals later this week. Well, on the subject of section championships, this next story stems from last year's section title game, where the Christian Brothers Falcons felt confident that they could win it all. But just a few minutes into the championship game, team leader Kaya Foster went down with an injury, and it changed everything. Kaya now shares her story with us about her long road to recovery before her senior year. The past 365 days have been an emotional roller coaster for Christian Brothers senior captain, Kaya Foster. Basketball is a sport that Kaya admittedly didn't want to play initially.
I played softball for all my life. My parents introduced me to basketball and I didn't really want to play it. My first couple years I was just playing it for fun. Once I hit high school, I stopped playing softball and made basketball my main sport.
The Falcons senior, who has become a vital piece of Christian Brothers' success on the court, Kaya has grown to love the game, although it's not always easy being the coach's kid.
Our first couple years, we battled. We had a lot of battles.
She gets on me harder than the other players on the team.
I've kicked one player out of my gym the whole time I've coached basketball.
Yeah, it was me. Yeah.
So it was just one of those things is, hey, unfortunately, I've got to hold you to a higher standard than I hold anybody else, because just naturally people are already looking to see if there's favoritism, if there's, anything like that. So it's, hey, that's it. You don't get a lot of chances. And she's been the one player I've kicked out of my gym.
That's the price tag of being the coach's kid.
That's the price tag.
But Kaya more than earned a starring role as the team's second leading scorer as Christian Brothers rolled into the 2023 Sac-Joaquin Section Division III final with high expectations.
I think we all thought we had a really good chance to win the game.
We thought we were going to go into it with a win. I mean, obviously we didn't we're going to win, easy win, but we put the work in, and so we expected to see the results of a win.
But just a few minutes into the championship game, disaster struck at the worst possible moment.
I was going up for a layup on the baseline, and all I did was just landed wrong. Nobody really pushed me or anything. I just landed wrong.
And in that moment, I was just oh, she's going to be fine. She's good. She's on the sideline, jumping up and down. I think she's good.
Kaya did try to go back not too long after she went down. She looked at me, I looked at her, I said, "You good?" She said, "Yeah, Mom, I'm good." I said, "Okay, let's go."
We were on defense, and I hit a jab to the side trying to get over, and it did the same thing it did on the layup, so I had to come out.
And at that point, I started to get a little nervous, what are we gonna do?
You could see the team just kind of deflate, and everybody was just kind of oh.
I feel the hardest part was watching them and being oh, this is my team. I should really be out there.
Probably one of the hardest moments I've had as a coach, because in that moment that was my kid, and I knew she was hurting and I knew she was struggling. I had to physically and actually tell myself, you got to keep coaching. You can't really even give any attention to this right now.
A torn ACL in the championship game, which Christian Brothers lost by just 3 points. And in the days and months that followed, Kaya embarked on a rigorous road to recovery, vowing to get back on the court to help her team before the end of her senior year.
So we kind of knew that it was going to be a long process. Her goal was to come back before the season ended. So, we started from day one, just working.
I learned that I could be there for my team, even if it's not on the court. I could still be there vocally, because I've been on varsity for all four years. So I feel I kind of have that power, I guess, to do that.
I tore my ACL too when I played, and I didn't put in the work that she did. Even with some of the setbacks that she's had and the disappointment she's had, and her wanting to say, why am I doing this? I don't want to do this anymore. She's still doing it.
After several peaks and valleys, progress, and setbacks, Kaya was finally cleared to return to the court 341 days after her last game.
I'm nervous, thinking about how she went down, thinking about if it's too soon.
I'm just looking to not score a bunch of points, like not be like the top player on the team, just contributing maybe rebounds or steals or maybe a couple points here and there.
Whether we place it on her or not, there's an expectation, and hoping that she doesn't feel that pressure, because I want her just to play basketball, and whatever happens, happens, and want her to know that her worth is not wrapped up in basketball. So yes, there's an expectation there, but just play, and it's all gonna come together.
Whatever butterflies may have existed during Kaya's return quickly transformed back into Falcons on her first possession.
She flips a switch and is immediately like a new person, and she's scary when she's locked in.
It was really hard, like a really hard journey. Like I had ups and downs. Like there were some nights I would just like break down and cry, because this is a sport that I like really love.
The sport that you originally didn't want to play.
Yeah. Yeah.
From Christian Brothers High School in Sacramento, I'm Nick Pecoraro, and you're watching Premier Preps. Man, I gotta say, I had goosebumps when Kaya checked in and drained that three-pointer in her return game. If you want to follow her on social media, here is where to find her. Kaya plans to keep working and hopefully play at the next level, so college coaches, take note. Well, our final gamer this week brings us back to Cosumnes River College for the D4 boys soccer final. The Natomas Nighthawks looking for their first section crown since 2011, and they'd have to try to slow down the top goal and point scorer in the entire country, Galt senior Miguel Garcia. Top-seeded Galt comes in with 0 losses in its 23 matches this season. There is Mr. Miguel Garcia leading his team into battle. The third-seeded Nighthawks sure had their work cut out for them, but in the first half, it was Natomas goalie Noe Lopez who answered the call, denying this header attempt from Christian Gomez. But the Warriors goalie was ready for the championship challenge in the first half as well. Angel Cornejo shutting down this try from Alexis Barba. Midway through the first half, Breen Velasquez finds Isai Mesa to put the Warriors on top 1-0. Para ti, Dios y mi familia, los quiero. Vamos, Isai. Natomas would find an answer, though. Diego Gonzalez leads it for Alexis Barba, who was keeping receipts on that stop on goal earlier. He knots the score at 1 apiece for the Nighthawks. And just a couple minutes later, check out this sequence. Garcia's shot is just off mark. It goes off of the post, but here comes Natomas answering on the direct counter. Barba playing a little bit of give and go with Sebastian Torres. Barba gets it back and connects for his second goal of the first half. Barba said that he imagined this moment happening as he went to bed the night before, and Natomas leads 2-1 at the break. Second half, time running out for Galt. Miguel Garcia, the nation's leading scorer, can't get the free kick to go. He's going to try again to tie the score on a bicycle kick. Tremendous effort, but it's just off mark. And in stoppage time, a penalty kick from Donovan Rodriguez is the dagger. And the Natomas Nighthawks knock off top-seeded and undefeated Galt for its 4th section championship in school history. Alexis Barba going to be the big man on campus on Monday.
Yesterday night, I actually fell asleep with my beats on and imagined that I was actually going to score these 2 goals. So, I just prepared my mindset, and I'm always ready. No one cared about us, like literally no one. And then we trained our hardest. These past 4 years were the hardest years of my life. And then we're here. Senior year, I gave it my all. And I told my coach I'm gonna bring that state championship. And I told him that I'm going to do it. And I'm going to be a man of my word.
Let's get right into the championship games for boys soccer in Division 1. Death, taxes, and Jesuit soccer racking up section titles. The Marauders defeated 7th-seeded McClatchy for their 15th Blue Banner on Saturday. The Golden Valley Cougars of Merced knock off the top-seeded Del Oro Golden Eagles and go back-to-back after winning its first section crown at the D3 level last year. The Division III title goes to the top-seeded Valley Vikings, who took down 7th-seeded Cinderella story Pacheco to win the school's first ever boys soccer crown. You just saw Natomas take down the top-seeded Galt Warriors. The Nighthawks now own 4 section titles and will go for a NorCal crown later this week. And last week we reported the D5 and 6 scores, but we'll give them to you again. The top-seeded Somerville Bears beat 3rd-seeded Delhi last Saturday to claim the 3rd overall blue banner in school history. And in Division 6, the Esparto Spartans played like a star destroyer and reeled in the Millennium Falcons to earn their first championship in school history. All NorCal games will be held this week, with championship games played on Saturday. We'll make sure to monitor all of our local teams and give you an update on next week's show. Well, we got 2 shows down and plenty more to go. I just want to again say thank you so much for giving Premier Preps a look and subscribing, especially. If you want to tune in and follow on social media, you can do so right here, as well as I continue with NorCal coverage of basketball and soccer. I'll be sure to keep you posted for next week's show. Until then, I'm Nick Pecoraro, and this is Premier Preps. We'll see you next time.